Hey there, folks. It's Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You know all the things to do. Now, with a name like Mr. MegaManFan, you already know that I'm a fan of platforming games, but that goes beyond just Mega Man. I also like Sonic games, Mario games, anything with a nice 2D, left to right, up to down action that gets you a lot of interesting challenges to solve, power ups to collect, new hidden areas to explore, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder promises to be all of that and more. I think without any further ado, we should take a look at the game, see how it is, see how it plays, give you my first impressions of it. It's going to be my own take on it because this is obviously not sponsored by Nintendo, nor reviewed by Nintendo, nor authorized by Nintendo, but hopefully this is transformative enough that they're not going to take any issues with it. If they do, then I will have to scrap this review. But so far, the opening setup is what you would expect. You select your player character, and you're introduced to the world of the Flower Kingdom, which is reportedly a short hop away from the Mushroom Kingdom, pun intended. And then you get the basic running left to right and jumping to collect coins to warm players up who might be playing a 2D Mario platformer for the first time. If you've been playing them since the days of the original Super Mario Brothers, this is no surprise to you. You already know how to run, jump, and collect coins, but you've got to assume there might be some young people or even some older people who have never played a Mario platforming game before and just need a little glimpse at the mechanics before we get the first cutscene. And if you saw the trailers leading up to Super Mario Bros. Wonder, you already have a pretty good idea that Bowser is going to come and wreck the place. Although how he does it this time is pretty strange, even by the standards of the Mario Bros. 2D platforming series. He steals a magic flower from Prince Florian, the leader of the Flower Kingdom, and in doing so, gains the ability to merge with objects and transform into them. And what does he immediately do? Take Prince Florian's castle and become the castle. Now, honestly, I think the characters in the Mario universe are not selling this big enough. That would be a positively horrifying thing to see happen in any world outside of a flower or a mushroom kingdom. Imagine if you're watching the Super Mario Brothers movie in theaters and Bowser steals a magic flower, merges with the Empire State Building, and becomes a huge, colossal, towering inferno of doom. That's what I think the reaction should be by these characters to seeing Bowser become a living castle. I don't think they're really as scared or as horrified as they should be. This Flower Kingdom citizen is reacting the right way. She's running away at the sight of Bowser Castle, only because of the power of his magic castle and the magic flower he consumed, he can also transform other objects, and he turns her home into a jail. So, this is the menace that they have to deal with now. Bowser is not only a living castle, but he is a menace that can spread his transformative power and turn anything that he floats over into an eviler version of itself. But of course, Mario and his friends are here to save the day, and Prince Florian is so grateful for their help. This is what you would expect from a Mario game. Mario's going to save the day. That's always the way these things work. I mean, what kind of Mario game would it be if he didn't save the day? Can you imagine a game where Mario just says, "Nah, I'm not interested. Woohoo, let's go home." That's not going to happen, folks. And of course, we see a bunch of Yoshis following the Mario crew, but I have yet to encounter any Yoshis in the game. I can only assume they're in there, but I didn't watch a whole bunch of spoilers. I didn't download a copy before mine came in the mail. I haven't done anything other than play this straight up from this point forward. So I know nothing about when you encounter the Yoshis, and I'm experiencing all these new items and new power-ups for the first time, including the talking flowers, which that's the only thing close to a spoiler I've seen, because some people who did get advanced copies of the game ahead of time did some data mining to find the audio files for the talking flowers and made the flowers say some rather crass things, which I found absolutely hilarious, but obviously that's not going to be in the real game. That's only going to be in hacked versions of the game, so don't expect the flowers to say anything rude in your copy of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's not one of those every copy is personalized type deals, which are always fake anyway, so why am I even bringing that up? I don't know. Anyway, Mario can become an elephant in this game. I think you already knew that from the trailers as well if you've seen them, but if not, when you see the fruit that looks like an elephant's trunk and you pick it up, he becomes an elephant, which grants him the ability to smash through blocks and to suck up water from pipes and spray it out of his nose, and to just be a complete wrecking ball with anything and everything that's in his way. He'll kick it, he'll flatten it, he'll crush it. He's just massive. Not massive like Bowser Castle massive, but massive compared to most of the enemies on the screen. One of the other new gimmicks in this version of Super Mario Bros. Is that there are these magic flowers that appear throughout levels, and when you get them, things go... How do I put this? It's like a psychedelic experience. Things start behaving really oddly. These pipes come to life. They've got faces. They're moving up and down now. And more flower seeds will appear when you're in these psychedelic states. And you want to collect as many of those as you can. And there are basically 2 big flowers to collect in every level. There's the one that gives you the psychedelic acid trip, and then there's another one at the end when you slide down the flagpole, and whichever Flower Kingdom resident is at the end of the level to greet you will hand you one. And Prince Florian, who came along with you for the ride, will tell you that you need these flower seeds to counteract Bowser's evil. They can turn things that he's transformed into evil versions of themselves back into the normal versions of themselves. Which suggests to me that maybe this problem could have been solved without Mario's help. Obviously, Mario's going to defeat Bowser because that's what Mario does. But if the Flower Kingdom had the power to transform anything Bowser did back to its original self, they don't need Mario to do that, now do they? Or maybe they do, because at some point later in the game, it's entirely possible that the flower seeds will stop working because Bowser has gotten too strong, his magic is too powerful, and unless Mario is able to take his power away, there will be no saving the day. Now, the game does mix familiar and new elements. For example, these note blocks, which we first saw in Super Mario Bros. 3, they're back, and they're very musical in this version, so that's cool to see. I've yet to find any hidden sky areas by jumping on top of them, or any Tanuki suit or raccoon suit, whatever you want to call them, power-ups from the music blocks, but it's just nice that they're there. And these red pipes, when you find them, will allow you to go to areas you can see but not otherwise reach. Like in this case, when you go down the red pipe, you're going to end up in the background where there's more coins to collect, more flower type items that you can acquire that will eventually lead you to getting the super flower seed. It's just more to do when you go through a red pipe. There will be things that you find that you need to further your quest. And of course, familiar foes like Koopa Troopas, Goombas, Piranha Plants. What's funny in this level is when you get the psychedelic flower, the Piranha Plants really go to town. And the other flowers comment on this fact as well because they can't quite understand what they're seeing. Like, are those plants singing? Yes, as a matter of fact, they are. So even the citizens of Flower Kingdom feel like things get really weird when you collect that psychedelic flower. Whoever said that this version of Super Mario Bros. Was an acid trip was probably right on the money. It feels like the wildest, wackiest Super Mario Bros. Game yet. And that's saying a lot given we've had previous games where Mario himself has transformed to both colossally immense size and microscopically tiny size to either crush pipes by running through them or go down tiny pipes that he wouldn't otherwise be able to get to. We've had games with Mario wearing a propeller on his head. We've had games where Mario turns into a statue, and an immovable statue, mind you. The only good thing about it is that it can't take damage, but it's kind of useless other than that. I mean, we've had Mario turn into a freaking frog who hops around and jumps in and out of the ocean. I can't even say that any of that compares to what I'm seeing in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This one is definitely pushing the creative envelope, and I think it needed to do that for the sake of the Mario Brothers franchise. Like, we've seen it all, we've done it all at this point. It's got to be something completely over the top to really engage us in this experience. Not saying a standard 2D Mario platformer wouldn't be a lot of fun to play, but if you want to create a game that's really going to get people talking beyond the hardcore platforming fan base, you're going to need something that draws them and pulls them in. And this level of just completely insane, just insanity, that's what this game called for, and that's what this game has in spades. So far, my least favorite enemies in the game are these Birdo-like creatures who shoot acorns at you and then run away. It's really annoying for a variety of reasons, but chief amongst them is that when you finally catch up to one of them, they usually hit you with an acorn right as you're about to get them. So unless you have the fire flower power where you can shoot them with a fireball, or you're the elephant Mario and you can swing your trunk at them by hitting the Y button, sometimes you're just going to take a hit. And then when you try to jump on them, they'll turn around and run the other way. They are real cheap SOBs in this game. It is remarkable just how annoying they can be. Look, they're always one step ahead of you right until you get them cornered into a wall. They're frustrating. But you want a little bit of frustration after all. There's got to be some challenge to keep you playing. It can't just be easy all the time, or why even bother? This room is a perfect example. I thought I was either going to have to jump off the acorns or do a jump off of the Birdo type thing itself in order to collect this star. And maybe that's one way to do it and a perfectly fine way to do it, but it turns out if you just get a really good running jump, you'll have enough momentum to reach it. It doesn't look like you do, but you get a little bit of extra height if you're running when you jump. And you can also hold down the jump button to get a little higher jump, even in a normal situation. If you just tap it, you'll get the regular Mario jump, but if you hold it, he'll go a little bit higher. So it kind of makes sense that if you're running and you hit it, you would get a little higher jump even than that. So Mario physics that you're probably familiar with are much the same here, and if you're not, you'll get adapted to them very quickly in these early levels. The elephant is just ridiculously fun, especially in this stage, because you get a little extra bonus that I wasn't expecting. When he catches up to the psychedelic flower in this level, it's a whole new kind of transformation where there are shooting stars raining down from the sky, and they're invincibility stars. And every time you collect another one, it resets the timer and keeps your invincibility going. You can see it's ticking down, and then I get one and it goes back up to 10 again. So you can play as Invincible Elephant Mario for basically as long as you want until you get tired of it. But the point, of course, is to collect the flower seed. You want to catch up to this Birdo-looking thing, run him over with your invincibility, and bang, you've got the item you were looking for. There's always some trick in each one of these stages, and I'm sure there are hidden secrets and exits that I haven't even found yet in any of these early stages, and later stages to come that I haven't yet played. So there's going to be a lot of exploration and backtracking. Even when you finish this game, you're probably not going to be finished with this game, which is what made games like Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World such definitive classics. Was you could just play them straight through to get to Bowser and beat him, but if you really wanted to have fun, you'd go back through and look for all the alternative paths, all the hidden exits, all the keys that you had to collect to open secret doors to new areas you hadn't been to before. That's, to me, the definition of a really great Mario Brothers game. Not saying Super Mario Brothers 1 or 2 or Lost Levels aren't good, because they definitely are, but starting with 3 and on, they really refined the concept of we're putting extra things in here for the dedicated gamers who really want to see it all and do it all. And Super Mario Bros. Wonder definitely continues that legacy from what I've seen of it in my first half hour of playing. So I personally don't think anybody who likes platforming games would be disappointed by this. I'm certainly not. And if you love the Mario Brothers franchise, there's absolutely no way you wouldn't enjoy Super Mario Bros. Wonder. If you didn't pre-order it, you probably want to go look for a copy right about now. And if you're not into physical media, well, hey, it's available on the Nintendo eShop as of right now. So just go to the store and purchase a digital copy and download it to your Switch. If you need a bigger memory card to hold it, then go and get one. They're cheap pretty much everywhere. Walmart, Target, Best Buy. Just go get yourself a bigger micro SD card, pop it in, and then you can download Super Mario Bros. Wonder and enjoy the wonder of this game, because I just can't imagine who wouldn't like this if they like platforming or Mario. That's how much fun I'm having with this game right now. I won't say it's perfect because I haven't played it all the way through. I'm not going to say it's the greatest game of all time, or even the greatest game in the Mario Brothers franchise, or even the greatest platforming game, but it has the potential to be ranked as one of the all-time best. And I would be shocked if this wasn't on a bunch of top 10 lists at the end of the year for best games that came out in 2023. Right now, I'm really feeling it to that degree. It's late in the year, it's October right now, but it has that potential to be remembered as one of the best by the end of December. I like that they give you this training ground too to learn how to use the floating cap like a parachute, which ironically enough reminds me of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse when you use Risky Boots' hat like a parachute. I don't think that's where they got the idea from, and even if it was, I doubt they would acknowledge it. But it's fun to see that because Shantae is another one of my favorite platforming series. So it's a nice little crossover moment, even if it was completely accidental. So, I've been Mr. MegaManFan. This is my thoughts on Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and I hope you're enjoying it today too, and you have a great rest of your day and weekend.